Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to cloud test lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
Meanwhile, you could ask me if you have any doubts, such as Manoj, Lydia, Shobha, anyone. You can unmute yourself, Yogesh, Twinkle. You can unmute and ask me if you have any doubts. Before we start the class, it's not even 9, we'll start the class around 9, 5 years. So you could ask me if you have any doubts.
Neha, are you doing inheritance today?
We discussed inheritance. We are the basic inheritance, what is subclass and the superclass, and we have discussed.
I know, but are you repeating the class today?
No, I'm not
repeating the class.
No. Oh.
Okay.
Inheritance is done after that, the super and final keywords. That is what we are going to discuss in today's class.
Okay, because we already done, so I'm just, if I want to join or not, I'm thinking if that is what you are.
Yeah, it's up to you. This for previous students, it's already covered. Today I'll be discussing about, of the inheritance, the keywords, super and final, okay, the constructor chaining, and the abstract classes. That's what I'm going to discuss in today's class. Folks, if you think you already know them, right, you can, I'm discussing about the keywords, super, and final, and abstract class.
Neha, what's the plan for tomorrow? Will it be a new class or will it be a repetition tomorrow?
With tomorrow we'll be done with the old classes, I think. Folks will email you. We are thinking of having a class from 8 to 9. I'll email you on anything tomorrow morning.
No, I didn't get it. What is that 8 to 9 thing?
See, let me tell you this way. So today we have class from 9 to 10:30 ES. Okay? So after this class, I'll have 1 hour. I need 1 hour to finish the previous classes. So if we have class from 8 to 9, 9 to 10:30 will be the regular class for you. The threads will be discussing threads of the exception handbook. You understand what I'm saying? Or else, from Wednesday, we'll back into the regular schedule.
Okay. So, basically, if I don't want to listen to the previous thing that was said, then I can directly join on the next day. That's when we're going to start on thread or new things.
Yes, tomorrow 9 o'clock or Wednesday. On that, I'll be emailing you. Tomorrow, if we have class from 8 to 9, 9 to 10:30 will be threads. You understand?
Okay.
If we don't have class from 8 to 9, 9 to 10:30 is going to be the power-up session, and we'll start from Wednesday.
Okay, got it. Okay, then actually I'll drop off. Thanks, Neha.
Okay, that's fine.
Hello, Neha. Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
Neha.
Could you repeat it, please? I just joined it.
What topic you want me to repeat?
Are you discussing about classes, I think? Tomorrow class or today class? I'm not sure.
No, I'm repeating the previous classes today.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, whatever classes that I have already covered, I'm repeating it. Folks, for everyone's information, we didn't had class on Saturday. I mean, as no one showed up on Saturday, we have to cancel the class.
Okay.
Okay, maybe there's some confusion around. Yeah.
Rahul here. Are we just like recapping all the chapters what we have covered till now?
Yes. See, whatever has already covered, I'm repeating the same things for new people.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And
So,
even, yeah.
Neha Venkat here. So will it take like approximately today and tomorrow, this recap?
Yes.
Okay. So
So
probably from Wednesday.
yeah, it's not. I'm not telling this to just make you just honestly, if you listen to one more time, you will be even more clear actually.
Yes, we are listening. No doubt
Yeah.
we are listening.
Venkat, is it you who emailed me regarding a doubt?
No, not me. Maybe another Venkat. Like there are two Venkat, I think, in the same class.
Okay. Folks, any other doubts before I go ahead and start the class? Okay. So in the previous class, we were discussing about the inheritance and we have discussed about the overriding. So what is overriding? When we have a method in the superclass and we want to change the behavior of the method in the subclass, we override the method. Right? For example, if we have a method in your superclass. So what is a superclass? Here the superclass is vehicle. We have a method move in the vehicle class. Right? If we want to change the behavior of the method in the subclass, we override the method. In overriding, the return type, the name of the method, and the argument list is same. So when we override the method and when we call on the car object, which method as it gets called? It calls the car method because we have overridden the superclass method. The method in the car class get accessed. So if I want to call the method in my superclass, for example, here there will be many times in the real time there will be some scenarios that you want to have the behavior whatever the superclass is doing. In addition to that, you want to add something else. So we just want to duplicate the code. So if you want to access the superclass move method, I use the keyword super. If you want to access the methods in the superclass, we use the keyword super to access the superclass method. And super is also used to call the superclass constructors. Folks, I'm going to explain the constructor training, which is very, very important. See, folks, here I have a system.out.println I gave in the vehicle class. I'm saying constructor in vehicle class, right? So let's say if I create a car object, here I'm creating a car object, right? So when I run it, if you see the output is a little bit interesting. It is saying constructor in vehicle class, which means when I'm accessing or running this code, the constructor in the super class is getting executed. Why is it getting executed? We haven't created the object of vehicle class, right? But in car class, folks, you see, we don't have any constructor. When we don't have any constructor, Java generates a default no argument constructor which has same access as that of the class. This class is public. The constructor is also going to get the access of public. Even though we don't explicitly say it. I haven't put any code in my car class, right? Sorry, car constructor, right? But still vehicle constructor is getting executed. Even though we don't put the code, there will be implicit call to superclass no argument constructor. Even though we don't specify this, there will be an implicit call to superclasses no argument constructor.
Yeah, what if we specify? Will it be called twice or it will be called?
No. If I specify it, it gets called only once. the constructor is called only once, the constructor in the vehicle class.
Even if you don't define super, it will be by default calling the base class.
Yes. Okay, let me reinstate the sentence. See, if I don't specify any constructor call, right? If I don't specify any super constructor call, it calls the superclass no argument constructor. Let's say, for instance, I have an overloaded constructor. We have discussed, right? Constructors can be overloaded. So what do we mean by overloading? We might have different constructors which take different arguments.
Yeah.
For example, I have a constructor here, let's say, which takes an int c. Okay? Or let's say I have a constructor, which takes a string as vehicle name, and we are setting the vehicle name here. Right, folks? So if I call, let's say if I'm calling the superclass as string argument constructor, I'm creating a car object by passing BMW. So now, does the no argument constructor get called? No, because I have already specified a superclass constructor call, right? So, okay, because it also has, let me no argument constructor in superclass so that we can differentiate. Okay, string argument constructor in superclass. Now what happens? The string argument constructor in my superclass gets executed. So folks, it says string argument constructor in the superclass. It is not executing the no argument constructor. The implicit call to no argument superclass constructor applies when we don't specify any constructor call over here. And one more thing, folks, if we are calling any constructor, that should be the first statement in the constructor. So for example, here I am printing something. Let's say, I'm saying in car constructor, right? Can I keep this as the first line? I cannot do that. Super or this call, any constructor call should be the first statement of the constructor. This is what we call it as a constructor chaining. Even though we don't specify it, the subclass constructor has an implicit call to the superclass's no argument constructor. But if we specify any superclass constructor, any overloaded constructor, it does not have an implicit call to the no argument constructor. So if I don't specify this, if I comment this code, folks, what does it happen? It is calling the no argument constructor in the superclass. So what happens when I run it? Folks, see this? It is calling the no argument constructor in the superclass, right? But if I specify if I specify a superclass constructor call, now the no argument constructor doesn't get called. As we have invoked the superclass constructor, which takes a string argument, the overloaded constructor in the vehicle class, which takes a string argument, that gets invoked, and it is printing the string constructor in the vehicle class, right? And folks, we pass BMW, right? So what will be my output when I say folks, follow this very carefully. This is very important. Folks, what will be my output here? When I print vehicle number is vehicle name, what will be my output? We get the output as BMW, because whatever we are passing here, what are we doing? What is happening in the vehicle constructor? It is initializing the vehicle name. The current object, what is this? This is the currently created object or the currently calling object. The vehicle number is set with whatever we are passing as the argument. We are passing BMW as the argument. So the vehicle name is set with the value that we are passing, which is BMW. Since the superclass variable is public, we can access it in the subclass also, right? So when we print it, we are getting it as BMW. That's what we call it as a constructor chaining. From each subclass, there will be an implicit call to super. If you don't specify any superclass constructor call, if you specify it, the no argument constructor of the superclass doesn't get called. And in a constructor, the constructor call, the first call should be either this or super. We cannot have any other statements or any other code before this. What does it say? It gives an error. Constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor. Folks, any doubts on this?
No.
Super keyword is used to call the superclass methods or superclass constructors. That is about the super keyword. So the other keyword which we're going to discuss about is the final keyword. Final is a keyword which we can apply to variables, methods, and classes. When we make a variable as final, we cannot assign a new value to the variable. And when we make a method as final, so what is final? I just use the keyword final before the method declaration. So this is the final method. When we make a method as final, we cannot override the method. See, when we try to override it in the subclass, it gives us a compilation error saying cannot override the final method. And when we make a class as final, we cannot extend the class. Final is a very, very important keyword. So when we make the type call cannot subclass the final class vehicle. So final is a keyword which we can apply to variables, methods, and classes. When we make a variable as final, we cannot assign a new value to the variable. When we make a method as final, we cannot override the method. And when we make a class as final, we cannot extend the class. So folks, any questions on super, final, constructor chaining? We have seen what's an interface, what's inheritance, overriding, super, and final keywords. Folks, any doubts on that?
I missed the last Friday class, so can you highlight on this again if you don't mind, or I can watch video too later on.
I'm very sorry, but I cannot repeat. It's the second time we are going through the classes. So
okay, no problem.
But you can go through the recorded classes and you can ask me if you have any doubts. Sharita, you were in the first. You listened to the first time also, right?
I missed a 10 minutes class today. That when you were explaining final. And then I missed that Friday class. There was a class on Friday, right? Last Friday. Yeah, that I can watch video. But if you can just explain a little bit more on final thing, I really didn't get it.
No. Final. I explained in today's class, and I explained it just now.
Oh, okay.
I can repeat that, not an issue. Final is a keyword which we can apply to variables, methods, and classes. If we make a variable as final, we cannot assign a new value to the variable. If a method is final, we cannot override the method. And if a class is final, we cannot extend the class. That's about the final keyword.
Okay, thank you.
Folks, any other doubts? I'll just highlight on the interfaces before I explain abstract class shell, so that I'll just explain an interface a little bit and then go on to abstract class.
Hey, Neha, okay. I just have a question. The question is regarding you said the class cannot be extended, right? You said
I'm sorry?
The class cannot be extended, right? You said the class cannot be extended.
Yes, we cannot inherit the class. See, here we have a vehicle class and car class is extending vehicle class here, right? If the vehicle class is final, we cannot extend it. We cannot do this. If a vehicle class is a final class, we cannot extend. The car class cannot extend vehicle. Not only car class, Any other class cannot extend vehicle if vehicle is the final class.
Oh, how do I know which is the final class? Which is the...
If we have a keyword final before the class declaration, it is the final class.
Oh, okay. Public
Whatever,
final.
yes, a variable or a method or a class, if it is final, we explicitly use the keyword final before the declaration or the definition of the class.
All right, thank you.
Or a method or a variable, we use the keyword final.
Okay, so it could be in the front of a class, or it could be in the front of a variable also, of a method also.
Yes, exactly.
Can you go back to the last three things that I just was reading?
The presentation?
Yes, presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Superclass does not have a no argument. That means within the parentheses there is nothing there, right?
Yes. Here, see, if I are calling a constructor with string, right? There should be a matching constructor over here, right? If I are calling an argument constructor, there should be a matching constructor in the superclass. Even the methods, right? When we have a method which takes an argument, we have to pass an int argument to the method, right? Here, if I'm calling the move method, I have to pass int, right? If I pass something else, if I pass a double, it's going to give me compilation error, right? Methods or constructors, we have to pass the parameters that it accepts. If it is a string argument constructor, we have to pass a string. If a method takes an int, we have to pass an int, right?
So what you were mentioning about super BMW, that's a string, right? That's a string.
Yes. Here I have declared a constructor. I have created a constructor which takes a string argument, right? That's why it is working. If I comment this constructor, let's say if I don't have a constructor which takes a string in my superclass, it gives me compilation error. The constructor vehicle of string is undefined because there is no constructor in the vehicle which takes a string as an argument, right?
Okay, I see.
Are you clear?
Yeah. Because in the vehicle class, we have to define that argument, right? We have to define that argument in the vehicle class.
Yes. There should be a constructor in the vehicle class which takes a string as an argument.
Okay.
Folks, I'll just highlight, reiterate interface and then discuss abstract classes. So, folks, just like a class, we can create an interface in Java. And what's the difference between a class and an interface? We can have variables and methods defined in a class, but an interface is 100% abstract. Interface is nothing but the contract. All the variables in an interface are by default public, static, and final. And all the methods are by default public and abstract. We can never define a method in an interface, right? So what is the purpose of an interface? There should be some class which implements this interface. Class extends another class and class implements interface. And in Java, a class can extend only one class, but a class can implement multiple interfaces. So folks, we have a concept called as abstract class. So what is an abstract class? For example, if I have a class and I declare the class as abstract, I use the keyword abstract before the class, which makes it as an abstract class. So what is an abstract method?
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website h2kinfosys.com. On our website h2kinfosys.com, you will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.